Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Charles Nzali. I am currently in the Gambia, West Africa. I am here with a brother, someone who is very brave. This guy took a very unconventional route across the Mediterranean to go to Europe. This journey is a journey that is very, very risky. However, some people feel the risk is worth it given the conditions that they have here in the Gambia. His name is Tahir Darboe. Tahir, welcome to 8+1, the classroom.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me being here.
Thank you. Tahir, let's start from the beginning. What are some of the early childhood memories that you have?
Well, yeah, my name is Tahir Darboe, like you earlier mentioned. I'm a Gambian born and raised. Before I embark on this journey, like you earlier mentioned. My earlier childhood memories will be I was born in Bundung Kakunda, a neighborhood that is mostly Gambian oriented, Gambian cultured, going to school, closing from school, having time with friends, playing football on the streets, like always, running after each other, and then until when it's like dark, before darkness falls, and then we go inside, and then that's when it's the homework time. You do your quick homework as well, because if not, you will have a problem the following morning at school. So after homework, then that is where the problem, another problem starts, because mom will be calling after you to go and take bath, and then it will be a bit cold, and then sometimes you just have to go and then wash your legs, and then that's when that's the normal childhood routine, and then the next day starts by going to school, and then
yes, I remember having those memories too, when it's time to take a shower, you just wash your legs and, and wet your hair, and and then you go out. So after, let's fast forward a little bit, right? After high school, you were privileged enough to, I don't think privilege is the correct word, but you were blessed to go to high school at Methodist, which is one of the best high schools.
Actually, I did my primary school and junior school at Methodist Preparatory and then Methodist Academy. My high school was being at Nusrat High School.
Still, Nusrat is a really good school. It's one of the top 5 schools in Gambia. And then after you graduated, why is it necessary to take that journey through back way, as it's called, across the Mediterranean to Europe?
Like by so many Gambians, like especially the youth, the mindset is, okay, we cannot get success here in the Gambia.
Yes.
So the easiest and most fastest way of getting success is, seeking greener pasture, across the ocean.
Yes.
So, okay, when I graduated from high school back in 2013, I was not privileged enough to go directly to university, so I had to resit my physics and mathematics.
Yes.
Because I got passed it instead of credit.
Yes.
So I had to resit my physics and mathematics. So, but during then, so 1 or 2 friends of mine were able to travel to America, to England or so for studies. And also, I was like, wow, as the fire was inside of me to go and, experience what is at the other side of the ocean.
Yes.
So to get, something that I'll be able to help myself and then also be able to help my family. By then my dad was also aging towards his retirement.
Okay.
So as the first born to my mom, not on my daddy's side, I also have elder brothers on my mom's side, I took it upon myself that I should be the one to look after my parents when the time comes for him to, or for my mom to,
retire.
To retire, exactly. So that was one of the main reasons why I had to, and also the stubbornness in me also would not let me sit in Gambia here. I was like, okay, I just have to, because like we say it in the campaign in the Gambia, I was the one that would be like, 9, do fee, no, small brother. Like I was like, it's not here, it's always at the other side. So this were one of the few things that was, pushing me to say, okay, I have to travel to Europe, but not through this treacherous journey to Europe. That was at the very last moment, because I didn't sit down to discuss it with my mom, nor with my dad. Because the moment I utter it to them, the answer is definitely no.
No, yes.
They would not. They would directly say no. So if they say no, that would discourage me. And you know the Gambian concept: when your elders don't bless you, you don't risk certain things in your life.
Yeah,
so that's why I kept it away from them the whole time. When the time was there, I just packed few things that of mine, had just a little bit of cash in me that would not even be enough to take me the whole way. But I said, let me go, and then when things come up, then I will be able to do things.
Like I said earlier, I have some friends who have also traveled through this route.
Yeah.
And then my conversations with them to gather some notes on some of the times and some of the things that they went through this journey. From what I understand, it's pretty much a journey of no return. You cross and make it there, or you die. Sometimes some people come back, but it's not as
easy as it sounds.
It's not as easy
as it sounds. I can really confirm that, because I personally went to a point whereby I was like, I have to go back, because it's not worth it. And the challenges were so high, whereby it was the first time of me leaving my country, leaving the boundaries of my country. I was not privileged enough to visit a neighboring country or being far away from home, because it's always mom, dad, brother, sister, and few friends I have nearby. I was not even privileged to go outside the four corners of my compound. So when I went, and then I can start from Senegal to Mali, that's where the difficulty starts. So, but I was with some among the group, so I don't want to be the first to chicken out. If I could just say it like that. So I was like, okay, if this guy can do it, I always had this since I was a child. If this guy can do it, I also have to be along to do it. But it was really a journey of no return, like you earlier mentioned, and it's absolutely risky. And if there was an easy route whereby you say, okay, I'm here now, I go back, people like me would not be even I think by now, because I would have definitely made a U-turn and then go back, because it was definitely not a journey worth risking your life, because it's risky. So
what is it like? You go from Gambia, you go to Senegal, from Senegal
to Mali.
There
are many routes, but for my route, I from Senegal to Mali, and from Mali I went to Burkina Faso. Then from Burkina Faso I entered Niger. So I could say from Senegal to Mali it was not that as much risky, because the road is much more easy and a passerby, you just have to pay some money at each checkpoint.
Okay.
Like it would be around 10 mil, I think 10 mil. I don't know what is the exchange rate in Gambia, because I have never been privileged to know the exchange rate. Yeah, CFA and dollars rather. But you bribe your way by each checkpoint. So the difficulty starts from Niger, because it's a different culture, a different ball game. It's like you are in a different world.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then this hits you back. Why am I here? Where is mom? Where is dad? Where is my close neighborhood friends? So you are always alone by yourself, and then the climate, the weather, everything is against you. So and then the reality hits you back by why did I even take up this journey? But by that time it is, let's say, too late, because for you to make that journey back home will take a lot of fortune again, and also the mindset of how will you be received back home. Like you are a failure, you went and tried
and then you failed.
You failed and you are back again. So how will the society welcome you? So these are some of the things that always push you to the next step, always. So when you enter Niger, there's another route again. It's either you go through the Sahara, it's the same Sahara Desert, but then there's a route to Libya direct, whereby you go through the Sahara Desert, or you take the route through Algeria. So I took the route through Algeria, whereby I entered through Algeria. That also you pass through the desert, and that was the time that I really broke down, I think, for the first time, because you look right, left, forward, backward, everywhere, like north, south, east, west, everything is just sand dunes. Nothing green. If you see a green spot, the next green spot will be seeing like hundreds of miles away. And then you will be like, okay, you have a very limited amount of water to drink. So you have to consume as very minimal water as possible. And you cannot be generous enough to help a friend when the friend is in need of water, because the next victim will be you, might be you, I mean. So along the way, you also see corpses, or you see graveyards of people that we are trying to also take the same route. So this hits you. So you will be sitting down, inside of you, you are crying. Why am I going? Where am I going? Because the next destination you are heading towards, you have no idea what is there for you. What is ahead of you?
What is waiting?
What is waiting ahead of you? Exactly. So you have to be as economical as possible with your finances, with the food, with everything, with the energy also, because you have to reserve your energy, because the car might break down. That's what happens very often along the route. Your car breaks down, and then you might be abandoned in the desert, and it's like every man for himself. So it's absolutely a journey whereby it's so depressing, and the psychological effect, it's tremendous. You cannot even imagine it. So some people might break down on even, it might have even side effects. As I'm talking to you, sometimes when you sit back and think about it, you get goosebumps, or your hair and body still stands still, because you are like, wow.
I don't even know what to say at this point, but I do know you have to be really brave.
Absolutely.
Because being in the desert and you're looking left, right, and center, you're seeing graveyards of people who have embarked on this very same journey as you did, but somehow you just believe and you keep on going. And then what is it like when you get to Libya?
Okay, from Algeria, I was arrested and I was sent to prison because I entered the country illegally. So you are termed as an illegal migrant. So, other African migrants, like from Mali, I don't know, but somewhere from Mali, 2 others from Gambia, so we were sent to prison. I was there for like a week. I called my mom first when I was in Mali. She gave her this assurance that I was not even having the courage enough to call my dad, because the African mindset. My dad was this super strict dad when it comes to decision making, because when he says to me, come back home,
you will.
I will. There's nothing even about it, because that's how we are. It's not like I'm scared, but that's the respect you give to your parent,
father.
your father, exactly, So he is the alpha and omega of the house. So I called my mom to just give her that comfort that I'm fine, everything is okay, just continue praying for me. So in Algeria, I did have this 1 week break of no communication with my mom. So it was later that my mom told me that those were the most difficult 1 weeks in her life, because there was no communication. So she was also getting to a point whereby had my son face the same fate as others by dying along the road, or things like that. So for 1 week I wasn't able to call my mom. So the first thing when I was released from prison, because we were given a short form of a paper whereby it's written that we have to leave the country within the next 5 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that word, okay.
Just like a deportation order.
Exactly, a deportation order was given to us on a paper form that we have to leave the country in the next 5 days, or else we might face the consequences of entering the country illegally. So, okay. In another sense, that made a bit of the journey easy when it comes to any checkpoint. When I showed that paper, it was like, okay, they are leaving the country.
Yeah.
So, exactly. So, I called my mom, made her, and then she was a bit okay again. So, I hit the road again. So, from Algeria, I entered Libya. So, when I entered Libya, again, that's where the traffic, we have already been trafficked. But that's where the real trafficking starts. Because you will see a human being being bundled inside a small car that is not even befitting to even put an animal inside, or a living being inside. But you have no other alternative, no other option. You have to agree to it. You are being bundled in sacks, put at the trunk of a car, and then you have to run like the car will be traveling at 150 kilometers per hour for the next 300 kilometers. It's definitely not comfortable for even an animal, like I said. So that's how we are being transported from point A to point B, and we are being given from one handler to another. And then if you are not having finances, that's where the problem comes, because you are going to be maltreated until your parents or whoever guardian is from Gambia or anywhere in the world is able to send you money to be able to free yourself to move ahead. So it's really challenging and very difficult and traumatizing that a human being will be just standing and then a price will be set over your head. Like
just like slavery. You're
slavery,
pretty much sold.
exactly. We are pretty much sold. Yeah, it's like slavery, because you'll be standing and they'll be like, okay, this one is going for $300, so let's say, like $300 is so that one, and you are standing, you have no say in it. What do you do? So that's how basically it was. And then again in Libya, I was sent in prison by the last trafficker that I was having, because he said he demanded more. So I was being put in prison with some other African migrants, somewhere there for months, because their parents were, or their guardians were not able to raise the money required to release them. So, but fortunately for me, I was able to break the prison and escape, because the prison I was sent to, and then the cell was pretty much rusty.
Oh,
and then when I entered it, so the barbed wire was completely rusty. So I was like, okay, I had to take the risk of giving it all, breaking and then escaping. So I waited until midnight. So I had to convince a few cellmates of mine that, you know what, if we stay here, but I was able to talk to them and ask them how long they were there. Some were like, okay, 3 weeks, 3 months, and you are being tortured daily. That would force you to call back home to send your money.
Yeah.
And there was not enough food to be given to you, nor enough water to be given to you to drink. So it's basically, you are there maybe until you pass out or you die. So it's I don't know, it's a different world altogether. It's a different environment. So after noticing that the barbed wire was a bit rusty, so I was like, okay, then I had to, talk my way within some of the inmates that, okay, this is the chance we have. We let them doze off in the midnight, and then we take our chances. Somewhere again, with me, I was able to like convince some to be with me, but the others were like, if you fail, because if you fail, that spells the death sentence for you, because you are going to be beaten to death, or you might even be shot to death, because these Arabs, most of them are being intoxicated with alcohol or drugs, or they are always high on drugs. So for them to shoot you on your leg or even kill you, it's not a big deal to them, So others were like, okay, if it goes through, fine, but if it doesn't, then we point you straight out that you are the one that instigated it. So I was like, okay, I had to accept that as the final say among us others, because you cannot completely gather everyone. So we were until midnight, and that's when we took our chances. We finally made the breakthrough. Everybody escaped, and then we finally, made our ways through, and then from there was the last prison I entered. So the following morning, it was like a mass search around the whole area. Okay, there was a prison break, and then everybody is being manhunted, like to be, taken back again. So I had to be bundled inside the car in a sack, put in a sack, bundled in a car like maybe a non-living material, or like something that's not even worth being thrown away. So I was just being pushed in the trunk of a car, closed, and then I was driving like that for another 2 hours to the nearest village. Then that's where I was being taken out of the car and then put in another car. Then I was, I joined the next cab to Tripoli. That's where the boat is being. We joined the boat to make the final cross to Italy.
So all of this, the psychological impact of all of this, this is just half the journey.
Yeah, half the journey, exactly.
This is just half the journey, and already the trauma from all of this, it's huge already. Only God knows what happens while on the boat, trying to cross through the Mediterranean.
That's one also. It's another situation and another ball game altogether, because like you yourself knows that you are boarding a boat that is very uncomfortable for a human being, or it's not even seaworthy at all, because the boat is rusty, the engine is not even worthy to even cross a lake. You yourself, you are just, because you are giving it your all, because at that point it's no return. You have already paid a huge amount of money. That's around $1,000 for you to cross. And then the average Gambian, to raise that amount of money is like giving your whole life savings at one go. And then at that point, you cannot turn back, because the Arabs are right behind you.
Yeah, hunting you, and then they are forcing us to, board that vessel to go across, because you are being beaten to enter. Because some can come up to the point, see the boat and want to turn back, but it's not worth it. It's not even, the vessel is absolutely dilapidated, and then, it's actually not, fit for a human being to even say, I'm going to cross a lake, like I said earlier, So from there onward, I said, okay, we were, in a sense, privileged to say we entered a bigger boat
not like this inflated balloon so that most. So I was with so many other African migrants and Arabs or Syrians who were being ransacked or packed in a wooden boat. But that wooden boat also was from the onset was taking in water. We were sinking gradually, bit by bit. That's what I can say. But then there was a mechanism whereby if the water comes in, a machine was pumping the water out, but at a very, very slow rate. But then we also face problem when I come to that. I will also elaborate more on that. The machine had a breakdown at the middle of nowhere. At the middle of nowhere. So at that point, you have to, because it is like the last stop towards salvation, like many would say it, because you've gone through so many barriers, so many challenges until the last point, whereby you say, okay, it's a do or die now. Because the next stop is Italy. You are like, okay, here was the place I wanted to make it to. So you are just like, let's say, a few miles away from the promised land. So that's what motivates you, and the faith that you have, and then at the back of your mind you are like, okay, I have the blessings, and then the go ahead from my parents. By then I have already talked to my dad, and then made him understand that I have already took up the journey, and then from there onwards he was like, okay, there's no way of me telling you to come back, but know that my blessings are with you. So I was like, that gave me this extra motivation of like, okay, now I got the blessings from my mom earlier, and then now from that, so everything is said and done. So that's when you always have to find this little bit of motivation from somewhere, either from a friend or from yourself, or from, let's say, okay, I have the blessings from my parents. So it's like this religious faith in you pushes you to be like, okay, I'm going to make it. But when reality hits you, when it's doomsday, because there's no other way. It's done.
That is made to carry 50 people. It's carrying an estimate of 500 people. Do you have a trained captain to sail it?
No, you're not having a trained captain. You're not even having a trained personnel on board. End of the day, the one that was supposed to handle the compass was being helped by me, that had a little or nothing, a little or very, minimal knowledge about how to even maneuver a bicycle, talk less of a boat on a huge vessel like that. Because I just applied a little bit of my geography knowledge on of a know-how of a compass. Because the one that was like, because it's like, if you know how to use the compass, you are given a special place, or you don't have to pay the $1,000 to cross. Or if you can drive the vessel, you are also not being demanded. Charged. You're not charged. Yeah, exactly.
So it's free of charge for
the captain.
The captain who is
driving the boat,
and then the person who's reading the compass.
Exactly.
So does this captain, is he a trained? Somebody's just randomly.
Someone just can come and say like, okay, I was using the boat when I was in my country, blah blah, without no documentation, no proof at all. A desperate person can come and be like, okay, he's not having the money to pay to cross, can just come and stand in front of you and be like, okay, I can use it. So the Arab is not after what happens afterwards. He's just after his money. Let me just say, like, that's basically the end of it.
So all he's after is, I gave you a boat, this is the boat, give me my money, and then this is the boat, that's the sea, this is a compass, you're on your own.
You're on your own, exactly. And basically that is that. Because he just stops at where the boat is being loaded, and that's the final thing. The rest is done by all of you. I mean all of you. Because if anybody can help, you are being asked to help on board.
So this man makes pretty much somewhere around $500,000.
Dollars, yeah.
Right there, and he takes the money, turns around,
and it's done.
And that's it.
It's done. It. So we are left on our own. So I mean, like, basically after 3 hours, it was like the boat was sinking, because the boat was taking too much water. So it was desperation for all of us on board. So the best thing you can do is just don't panic. Because if you panic, that will bring, so many confusion on board, and then from there on the boat might capsize, because people might just start to fight over the little amount of, escape route that is there. But there is no escape route. It's just like a desert. You look left, right, center is all water. And for someone like me who cannot even swim, what do I need to do? I was just sitting down there, just waiting for the time to come whereby everybody just have a quiet end to your, whatever thing that is going on, Man. So I was just sitting next to a person, that was even telling me, if I knew I was not gonna take this journey because I'm having my wife at home, I'm having 4 kids, basically the man was breaking down right in front of me. But me being me, I was like, you know what, bro, you don't need to cry over this, At the end of the day, when you die here, maybe you will know what is awaiting you in the hereafter. If you go to hell, then it's good. But if you go to heaven, then, that's also the end of the story. So basically that was, what it was like. So we were in the boat for like 16 to 18 hours. That we were just clinging onto our lives. The boat was coming, so the machine broke down. We fixed it, but at the end of the day, we were also doing some manual work by taking whatever small bucket we have, container or road, and then doing the manual work in shift. That was what was able to push us until we were rescued by the Italian vessels that were waiting for us at the international waters. For 18 hours, we were just, a floating dead balloon or so that was just on the ocean and then being drifted away by the waves. Machine also broke down, the engine also broke down, so we were being carried away by the waves.
Just the waves.
Yeah.
Your faith is in the waves.
Exactly.
If the vessel had drifted and taken another direction to Malta or anywhere, wherever you find yourself.
We were just praying and then praying to God that let us just even go back to Libya or even anywhere that is just green land or anywhere else. But when the motor broke down, it was like, okay, this is the final, nail to the coffin.
So let's just
save
at this
the,
point.
Yeah, save the energy and then wait for the right moment to use the energy.
One thing that is very common among young Gambians or young Africans who have made it across this journey, right? Some of them, a huge number of them are dealing with struggle with mental health.
Yeah.
Is that a direct result from what the trials and the struggle that what they see from Mali all the way to Libya, what they go through there?
Yeah.
Is that the direct effect of the mental struggle that some of these people are dealing with?
Yeah, you cannot say with 100% certainty, but I can say from my own experience, 60% of it is being caused by this journey. Because for me personally, it breaks me down at times, still today. When you sit and think about it, for me personally, I can say, like I said earlier, is what gives me the positive out of it. Well, okay, now through the grace of God Almighty, I'm able to do certain things for myself. I'm now married in Germany with my wife and my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's the positive I take from this journey. Like that's what gives me that absorbing, cushion. I will be like, okay, I have at least something to show out of this whole trial, But some are not privileged enough to do that. After 7, 8, or 10 years, after taking this journey, your life is still at a standstill, and that breaks you down more. Thinking about the risk you took, or what your life would have been in your country.
Yeah.
Because it's not everything is green at the end of
at the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
that
exactly.
Yeah.
So you go all the way, taking all the risks, investing so many finances in this journey. At the end of the day, each and every one that crosses this Mediterranean suffers from side effects, like the mental health is always there. That I can tell you with certainty. But there is a way of handling it.
Yes.
Some are having this strong character or strong mentality of kicking it aside when the shock, when it triggers. Exactly.
When it triggers,
there's this strong mentality in you where we're like, okay, I'm fine. Or you are walking, you are having a walk or you are having a family that is there for you, and then you'll be like, okay, this is the reason why I'm continuing to struggle.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that family next to you, and then your status in Europe is still in a very dire situation, that breaks you down more, and it will lead you to either, into drugs, exactly, alcohol, and then that will further damage your life, and that's what so many youths are facing currently. That's what so many youths are facing.
So is there anything, right, that anyone anywhere in the world can do to help? As far as the situation, because also from my research, I've also realized that sometimes when you get rescued by these people, you're just thrown into a camp, and then in that camp, it's not like there's a lot is catered for you in that camp. Sometimes you're just left in that camp, and then it's almost like survival of the fittest in those camps.
Yeah, actually, what I would say is like, okay, for me, that's how I take it. Like, you've made the journey to arrive in a country that I can say, if not, you are not welcomed.
Yes.
We are basically illegal migrants. Okay, you have to abide by the rules of that country.
Yes.
It's basically it's up to you to accept the terms and conditions being given to you because you are an asylum seeker. So you don't expect to be given a 5-star reception or a 5-star hotel to be like, okay, here, Mr. Darboe, you are an illegal immigrant, come and stay in a 5-star hotel where the citizens of the country are not privileged to have. So if you are given a camp, so make the best use of it. You know, try to follow the right channel in which you will be able to be like, okay, because I'm here, but I'm here for a reason. So you have to, you know, not forcefully find your way to be accepted in the society, but always try to show the positiveness in you that will make you to be accepted in this in that particular country that you are given asylum in. You know, so it's not like you are okay, I'm here now, you have to treat me like a fellow citizen or a fellow human being. But not everybody is the same. You know, you left your country for a reason, and if you are there, try to make yourself be welcomed, not by not doing anything or saying anything that would further make
them resent you
or dislike you or dislike others because of your behavior.
Yes,
exactly. So basically, that's what I would just tell my fellow brothers, that you know, you are in a country whereby in the first instance, you are not supposed to be there through the journey you took, because it's an illegal route that you have taken to a country that was not welcoming you to stay here. You can take the road and come, we will give you everything you need. So you are there not being
illegally.
Illegal, exactly.
And they will show you that you're not welcome here.
Exactly. So it's up to you to be like, okay, you know what, I'm here illegally, but I have this thing to offer. I have a good reason to be here.
Yes.
So that's how I take it. I take it to be like, because in every country in the world, you might feel the same challenges.
Yes. I live in the United States.
Exactly.
I live in America, and then they will remind you very often that you're not from here.
Yeah, you're not from here. Exactly. So it's the same.
But
thing.
it's also left to me to show them that yes, I'm not from here, but this is what I have to offer. You know, good character, good behavior. And following the rules. And you know, being respectful.
Exactly. And normally, as an African or as a Gambian, that's what we are being taught from childhood.
Yes.
Because each home, the number one principle you are being taught in our homes and in our schools is respect. And discipline.
Yes.
So show that, and then you might have whatever you want on that.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Very true. You know, but we live in a society now where some of those values I'm not going to say they're lost.
They are diminishing,
but they are not as observed as they used to be observed.
That's true.
And that is going to affect every single person. Every single one of us is going to get affected by that. And another thing I want to talk about is what advice do you have for someone who's in the Gambia right now, who's thinking about taking this journey?
For me personally, I would advise them not to risk it. Yeah, it's true. There's this saying that if you want to succeed in life, you have to risk, but not to the extent of risking the life in you. You know, at the end of the day, one might see. Honestly, I don't consider myself as a success story to this journey, but it came at a cost, psychologically, and during this journey back in 2015, I lost my dad. And I was not being privileged enough to have the documents required to come to, you know, witness the funeral and so on and so forth. So that also impacted, you know, me a lot. Till this day, it's something that I, you know, sit down and, you know, think about deeply. And I had to sacrifice my studies because I was like, okay, do fee. Since like I told you in the beginning, I was like, okay, studies, you wait for me. I have to go and hustle. Like every Gambian youth will be thinking about, But at the end of the day, when now after so many years, and let's say 7, 8 years now, since I graduated, I was like, wow, look at this guy. He's now working in the Gambia, having this, or he's now traveled through the normal required route, which my father was always telling me. Go to university, get your papers that is required, and then you can travel and to the country of your choice, and get whatever you want. And that was what I told my younger brother when I made the journey across. After facing the difficulties, let's say before I had my papers, before I was able to settle down and get my work, I had to call my younger brother. Now he is working at Gambia Ports Authority. He graduated not so long ago. So I had to tell him, you know what, bro, don't risk it. Don't sacrifice your education to say I'm going to Europe to hustle, because it's not a welcoming platform for you. So you have to really sacrifice a lot at your own pleasure to be able to climb up the ladder. So for you to go and study, like I was telling him basically what my father was telling me. But by then I was so naive and young and stubborn that dad is just talking something crap. Dad, whatever you are talking is just not gonna enter, or when it enters it goes through the next one. So I was telling him, and then thanks to God I was able to convince 1 or 2 close friends of mine not to take up the journey, because the situation in the Gambia was so much difficult. When you are a youth, you graduate from school, there's nothing whereby you can be able to get a work and then help yourself or help your parents. But I was like, bro, you know what, if the journey was an easy access or an easy path, I would tell you, come, so forth. But the journey is so challenging, and then because I lost so many friends of mine. I lost, I can count like 5 that I knew from the same neighborhood.
Who died?
Who died along the journey, and their corpses were not being found. Till the day I'm talking to you now, there are some that their families are still holding to the belief that they are lost, they might come back. But after 5, 6, 7 years, still no information about the person. You've come to the term that he's no more existing.
It is a Gambian kid who is well known on this journey called Four. I don't know if you're privileged to meet Four. From my research, I was told Four has tried this journey more than 5, 6 times, and he never succeeded. And then eventually he died trying the journey. And then I know of people that I know personally that I grew up with in Brikama who also died in this journey, and I know some who went and they got in successfully, and then they live in all parts of Europe, Belgium, Germany, Italy. But one thing that they all have in common is they all discourage the idea of taking this journey. Because I was trying to make a documentary on this journey, and then I was going to travel from Senegal, just take the same route all the way to Libya. One of my friends told me,
because it's not like you are going through a civilized zone. Sorry to use that word, but it's like I said earlier, it's a different environment. It's like we are not the same. Like in Gambia here, we see each other as the same. You see your African brother or your Gambian brother, or even we are all the same, because we have this faith, like this Christianity like faith or this Islamic faith, that okay, we are all the same under the eyes of God. The color difference doesn't matter, because if I cut myself, blood comes out. Whoever from Asia or whatsoever is the same blood that is running inside your veins. So, but then at the other side, it's a different ball game. They take you as a different set of being, not even a human being. So, if you are talking to someone in a civilized way, and not everybody is privileged to have the education you have, knowing that okay, we are all the same, or you have to talk to a person civilizedly, or you have to treat a human being like a human being. No. If you are seen as a black person, it's like, no, you are an alien or you are a foreign being coming to our country to, invade. You are not being handled as a human being.
So everything your plight, everything about you is met with hostility.
Exactly. No matter how professional you try to act, it's being pushed aside.
He told me you're crazy.
Exactly. I would also tell you, bro, man, you want to what do you want to do there? So
I thought about it, but when he told me that, I gave up. But ultimately, this, to me, I always blame two things as far as this journey is concerned, right? The first thing I blame is I blame Barack Obama. I blame Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton for the killing of Muammar Gaddafi. Because I think I have never been to Libya. From what I understand, the killing of Muammar Gaddafi has pretty much left Libya lawless.
Yeah, and it's a lawless state.
Yes. So because Libya is so lawless and so uncontrolled, it's hard for there to be control, for to be some type of control that is going to prevent people from taking this route, or just the trafficking on its own. And then my other victim, the other people I blame, is all the African governments. They have been failing us as African youth so many times, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
Actually, I would blame what Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton did is another different ballgame. But I would take the blame and put it on our African heads of states. Because if they created the right environment for the youths, nobody will leave his or our country and go somewhere else and say, I want to succeed. We all want to succeed here. But there is not enough opportunity given to the youths to succeed. You graduate from, let's say, you graduate from school. There is nothing. The Gambian education system is set up just to, please the ones that are with excellent results. And not everybody is like our Africans would say, like a Gambian would say, "Mobi manga karanade." So not everybody will, graduate with A's. So, but when you are not privileged to graduate with A, what is the second option for you? You have been termed as a failure.
Fear from the onset. Soon as the day you went to your school and grabbed your WAEC results, right? 6 credits and above, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You are safe.
Safe. But below
that,
it's
society
done.
is already, you're already
doomed.
You're already, yes. Yes, that is very true.
Exactly. So the next thing is like, okay, in Europe or in America, not everybody sits in an office.
Yes.
For the four wall of your office or the classroom or whatsoever. There are so many mechanisms where you buy your coin. I'm a truck driver in Germany. With that, you are able to earn a little bit decent living, and then you'll be able to take care of yourself.
Yes.
But is a truck driver privileged enough to live decently in a Gambia with the salary you earn?
No.
Exactly. And what from truck driving? Mechanicals, like let's say a mechanic worker. A mechanic, or a carpenter, or let's say a plumber or so. Are there right things or right channels whereby you say a Gambian youth can follow to succeed, apart from the one system education we have since 1910 or so it's just like education, and then if not, there's no other alternative. So even those that are privileged to educate, to be well educated and then graduate from high school or even university level, you will graduate, and then the next thing that will be there for you is like waiting for so many years before you will be able to find a decent job. So you have this society being saturated with so many youths that are unemployed. What would that lead to? So many crime rates and desperation. So every little escape route the youths find, be it from here to Malaysia or wherever, they will say, I'm going out. And that's what pushes so many, even those that are going to school, or even those that are in the working class system, because they will be working for like 5 years, they will be telling you, I don't even have $2 savings in my account.
Yes.
It's just like from hand to mouth.
Yes.
So that's what puts people into that desperative situation to be like, do fee. Well, everybody wants to stay home because my dad was a civil servant, worked, and died in this country. It's nice.
Yes.
You staying in your country, you know, waking up, seeing mom, dad, everybody around. Everybody wants to have such a, such a situation or such a opportunity to be seeing your friends, the ones you grow up with. But if the platform is not there for you to succeed at home, that forces you to go somewhere else to look for something to better your life with. You know, so I would say if our African heads of states, or let's say the African, you know, government as a setup, put the right mechanism for us as Africans, I don't think many people will leave the continent and go in search of, you know, a greener pasture at the other side. Because for me myself, when it comes to winter, that's the time I struggle. You struggle a lot going to work like early in the morning when it's freezing cold outside. You know, so it's more nice, but then, you know.
I agree with you, but there's no way we can exonerate.
Of course. What has been done by the Western powers, it's also, you know, seeing a country that is on the rise, you know, putting a stop to it.
Yes.
And putting it in a position whereby now, for years now,
it's lawless.
It's still lawless, and it's still going downwards.
It's lawless. And then young migrants, young African migrants are getting enslaved in Libya day in, day out. And then it's like nobody's talking about it, and nobody's really doing anything to fix it, because it's not citizens of those countries who are getting maltreated over there.
Exactly.
But you know, like you said, if there's no point in taking that risky journey, and then you get to Europe, and then you are not trying to follow the rules, or you're not trying to follow the rules just to make something
or making
for yourself.
The best use of the opportunity that's given to you. Because if you go there, you follow the rules, like going through school. You have to integrate yourself in the system.
Yeah.
You have to go to school, follow the laws that are being given to you, the steps, the guidelines that have been given to you. But you want to be like, you know, a different person. Like, okay, here everybody's for himself. Or like, let's say, I can be whoever I want to be. It's true, you can be whoever you want to be, because the law will, it's not like here in Africa whereby you might be, you know, maltreated by having a freedom of deciding who you want to be or where you want to be at. You know, but then there's a mechanism whereby if you want to succeed, this is what you have to, you know, follow.
There's no shortcut to success.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say.
There's no shortcut to success, because you always have to pay the price in order to make it. It don't matter what it is.
Exactly.
You want to be a best footballer, you have to pay the price
hard,
of training.
Sacrifice your time.
You want to be the best student in the world, you have to pay the price of studies. So everything you do in the world, there is a price to pay.
Exactly.
So if you get to these countries and then
you don't want to work,
you don't want to work,
or you don't want to go to school to learn their language. So you just want to sit and then be, you know, enjoying the privileges that is being given to you for a very limited time. If that gets exhausted, that's when they will be like, hey, what are you here for?
Yes.
So if you are not into anything that is of good use, you have to be sent back to your country if your asylum process is being exhausted. So I'm not being in supportive of like, okay, deportation or making it saying like, okay, sound like I'm in for it. But in any country, if you want to stay there, you have to follow their rules. If you don't, my brother, they will have to send you back to your country of origin. Even as Gambians, we are all Gambian. But if anybody comes into Gambia, I think there are ways of whereby you have to, the ways you have to follow to be allowed into the system of Gambia. If not, but you engage yourself in illegal activities, or, you know, not following the rules as being put to you, at the end of the day, if they send you back, you don't have to blame the country that that sent you back, but rather yourself.
That is true. And you know, he who feels it knows it. You know, I can only tell my story from America's point of view, and then truth is, my story from America's point of view is very different from your story. So, and from any other person's story too, even somebody that went to America like me, our stories are very different. Our stories are not the same. But that is why I made it a point to sit down and get myself educated and get others who are going to listen to this, so they're also educated and see and hear your story, just what you went through just to get to Libya first, which is crazy. And then in Libya, you had to go to prison 2 times. You had to get maltreated, you had to get tortured. And for the Gambian, just as a Gambian, one thing I know the Gambian for is we are not cowards.
Yeah, exactly.
So for you to get to a situation where you're allowing somebody to torture you, and you are not fighting back,
Die after due to the side effects that you get along the journey, like being bites by insects, being hit by metal bars on your neck or your back, and then at that point you feel the pain, but you'll be like, it's good. So after going through so many, that causes damage inside of you, and then before you realize it is too late, So these are some of the things.
Basically, the effect of this journey is not even. There's no way you can measure the effect.
Exactly, man. There's no measurement scale that will be like, okay, this is the thing. The side effects are tremendous that you cannot even tell. It's absolutely, heartbreaking and then disturbing to even sit and think of it. I don't like to sit and think about the journey, personally, because I just try to brush it aside. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm having my wife and then my daughter that I look and say, okay, these are the positives I get from taking the journey, because when I was in Gambia I was not like it was only me, no family, but then now I'm blessed with a family that I have, so I just like, okay, through this journey I'm blessed with this, but if not, what would I show it for? There's no amount of money on this earth that is worth you taking the journey. I would not advise anyone to take it. I wouldn't.
Money, that's the last thing, because it's nothing. What's money without
health?
Without health
and peace of mind.
What's money without health, without peace of mind? And you live here a complete human being, right. And then you get there. By the time you get there,
you are already half of yourself, or even less than half of yourself. Yeah, because your soul has been broken, your mental strength is weakened, if not broken also. So it's up to you to re-find yourself, and trying to put yourself together to be ready to take up the next challenge of succeeding in Europe or in wherever destination you are. So some of the time, this is the challenges so many people are faced with and are not able to get themselves out of. So that's where some will spiral out of control and then get into things that will not be positive to them, and so many youths are facing the side effect of it. And at the end of the day, if you are being deported again, or if you are not,
if you're deported,
it
makes it worse.
It makes it worse. Or if after a few years of your stay in Europe, still you are not be able to show,
you don't have anything
to show it for, that adds up to the pressure, and then you are already being termed as a failure wherever you are. So that makes people to run away from their responsibilities, and also run away from yourself by not knowing who you are anymore. Yeah.
Man, this is too hard, man. This is me just sitting here listening. I'm emotional. I don't know you that went through the journey, but all I can say is, man, thank you very much, man. Thank you for sharing your story with me and the rest of everybody who's going to watch this on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts or whatever, wherever, in all other platforms where it's shared. I just want to say thank you.
It's a pleasure.
This journey does not define you. You're bigger than this journey, and then you're a smart human being, and you're a hardworking guy. Just keep on working hard. Everything is going to. You have a daughter to live for, like you said. As a young parent myself, I know the joy.
Yeah, exactly.
A child
brings to your life.
Absolutely. And, thank you, man. I
appreciate it. I appreciate the interview, and I hope we will.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.